Hello. So today we're going to be covering all things skincare. And I thought, who can I get on that knows everything about skincare? I better get an expert. So I've got Anna-Marie Clarke is joining me today from Clinique. Anna-Marie, hello. How are you
Good
today?
morning. I'm very good. Thank you. Very well.
And we're going to be covering pretty much everything that any midlife woman, any quandary that she might have. I put this question out to my community on my private Facebook group saying, right, if you could ask a skincare expert any question, what would you like to know? So if you don't mind, I
Mm,
thought we could start with that one. And the
absolutely.
one that people wanted to know about was we we're in we're in deep midwinter. How
We
do
are.
you care for midlife skin during
Mm,
this season of our life? We'll go on to obviously different seasons of our life in terms of age,
mm,
but this literal season of our life, what can we do?
yeah. And I do think that I know for me, Andrea, it's the winter season, it's that transition from autumn to winter that I see really most changes in my skin and the condition of my skin. So what's happening with winter, the air is drier, we've got the cold air, but then we're going from the cold air into our house. I'm one for the heating full blast. I'm terrible for sitting in the car and having the heating blasting directly out on my face. The heated seat, it's
It's
all
all
going
there.
on. It's all there. The cold winds, we might not be drinking as much water or eating as much salads. Our showers might be hotter. All of these things can really sort of play havoc in the skin. So you may find that you've got more dryness in the skin. You may find that you get that flakiness, and that's because the moisture barrier, the natural moisture barrier in the skin, is then really sort of affected by all of these drying elements in the environment. So that's one thing. And with that dryness can sometimes, sensitivity comes in. They often sort of go hand in hand, where your skin is drier, but your skin is then a little bit more fragile or a little bit more reactive as well. So, through the winter season, I think it's really about nurturing your skin. It's really about putting in that nourishment. It's about putting in that hydration. It's looking for products which contain all those lovely nourishing ingredients. So your peptides, your lipids, that magic ingredient, that hyaluronic acid, all of those ingredients that are going to attract and help to retain that water and that nourishment in your skin. So you're looking for that real perfect balance of oil and water in the skin. And I know for me as well that I sort of almost crave different textures. So in the summer months, where I might want more of a gel cream, something that feels light and refreshing, I'm naturally craving something maybe a little bit richer, that's going to actually give me that immediate comfort as I go throughout the day. Because for me, as I get to sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when I start to feel that my skin is feeling thirsty, it's feeling a little bit more parched. So it's, those richer textures. Maybe you go from a wash off cleanser to a wipe off cleanser, more of a milk cleanser. So all of those products that are going to feel, really soothing on your
Mm.
skin, giving you that slightly richer texture. And I think also one thing not to forget in winter is that as much as that sun isn't hot for us, in this country, it's still making sure that you wear that SPF all year round to protect your skin, even against those sort of, those lovely bright, crisp days where that sun is coming through.
And when we do get them, we do race outside, don't we? Bobble hat on. It's finally a clear day rather than
I
grey
know.
and horrible.
I
Anna-Marie,
know that.
so many things but my brain was going, oh yes, that.
Yeah.
The first thing, okay, so I absolutely understand what you mean in terms of our changing skincare needs, not only in this literally our winter season in terms
Yeah.
of the one that we're currently experiencing in terms of weather, but our skin's changing needs in terms of the different seasons of our life. So
Mm,
I in this house, obviously I'm in my 50s. We have 3 girls in the house. The boy has fled and went to uni and literally left a boy-shaped hole in the wall. Too many girls in the house. But so we've got 17, 18 and 21-year-old young women in the house. So we've got differing skincare needs. But in terms of the different seasons of our life, I know that when I was that age, when I was younger, I had terrible acne. So my skincare needs were sort of centered around that. Then obviously I went through pregnancy and then post-pregnancy. And then I went into early menopause through surgery. I had a hysterectomy. So it was like an overnight sort of thing.
Right.
So my
Yeah.
skincare journey has really changed throughout my life, through teens right the way now into my 50s. When you're dealing with clients who may be mums and daughters who come to you, we have changed so much as a society. It used to be, granny. I remember my granny had one pot of cream up in the bathroom,
Yes.
and it is the same one she'd used her whole life.
Yeah.
But we not only have we changed in terms of our attitudes towards skincare, but now we're finally starting to see we need different things at different points in our life. So what do you recommend if you say get mothers and daughters coming to you? What do you recommend?
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's so true. And I think also, as well as those, those life cycles, the season, even our environment that we're living in now is so different to maybe the environment that, our grandmothers were living. We're constantly facing blue light, looking at phones and computers all day, so much more pollution, all of these things. But I do think, when somebody is younger, again, like we said, through the teens, the excess oil, the blemishes, maybe acne and things like that. So that can be very, very emotional and psychological for somebody that is experiencing that. And as we get older, maybe our 20s, maybe our skin is settled, but we're maybe burning the candle at both ends. We're maybe going out, it's late nights, you're heading to your career and all of those elements that may have an effect and an influence on the skin. And then getting into our 30s, 40s and, 50s and beyond, where we've got those hormonal changes. And I think one of the most important things for me is being educated on your skin and speaking to somebody that can help you understand what's happening in your skin at that time, why it's happening, and what you need to have to be able to address that, both in a skincare regime, but also in your lifestyle and those lifestyle changes that you can make and bring into your daily routine to actually help you. Because I think with that level of education, it gives you a sense of confidence. And I think especially when somebody is dealing with excess oil and blemishes, what happens is we want that immediate result. So we swap and we change and we use this product and then we're onto that one, and our skin becomes very, very confused. So, and I think when I speak to my clients, I think what's really important is that we will go through that that full skin assessment so that we can really talk through what's happening, not only what's happening on the deeper level, which is resulting in what you're seeing on the surface level, and what you can do about that as long term, what you're continually doing as part of your daily routine. But also what's really important for us at Clinique is also giving our clients that instant gratification piece. So say, for example, somebody is suffering with blemishes, it might be looking at a foundation and a concealer, but that are packed with those really good for skin ingredients. So actually, you've got that peace of mind that this is working to really address your concerns. But when you put that makeup on, you just pop a little bit of concealer here to, to disguise. It instantly gives somebody that boost. And I love that. There's nothing more satisfying whether a lady in 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s coming to us, or whether it's a young teen starting out on their skincare journey, this is what we're working together towards. towards achieving. And this I'm going to apply now, whether it's a bit of a highlight or it's a bit of a creamy blush to lift the, to give that moment of life and lift to somebody's complexion, so that actually instantly you go away feeling like you've got a spring in your step. But it's very much, and I think that's what's great about now, is that, before you might not learn about your skin unless you've been to a dermatologist, but that's hard. It's hard to see a dermatologist now. So having peace of mind that there are, people that you can go to for guidance, and for a level of knowledge which helps you feel more in control when it comes to what you're using on your skin and why.
And one of the things that I think that makes clients, customers, that normal everyday women in the street who are clients and customers are nervous about is so many of us read the labels or see the adverts, whether it's on TV or billboards or magazines or what have you, and think, I don't understand what any of these products mean. I don't know. I remember a few years ago, the first time I heard about hyaluronic acid, I was like, what does that even mean? And then now,
it sounds scary.
And it's a big long word. It's got the word acid in it. Surely that can't be a good thing.
Yes.
And like you mentioned the word peptides. Can you talk us through what kind of words we should be looking for in our skincare to know, well, okay, I need that in there because that's what it's doing to me. And then on a second layer, is there such a thing of over layering and using too much? Because I think that worries people, because I think, you know what, I'm just going to stay clear of all of this science stuff.
Absolutely. And I agree. It can be really overwhelming and you don't know where to start. And then you're sort of picking up random products, and thinking, well, maybe I'll just give that a go. And also then you end up, with a whole drawer of all of these products, which are costing a lot of money as well. So in terms of the ingredients, what, are some really great beneficial ingredients to look out for. So if you're somebody, with a drier skin, your skin feels tight, it feels uncomfortable, or going back to what we said, winter has hit and your skin's going, help me, I need a bit more nourishment. Those ingredients like your lipids, like your hyaluronic acid, if you see, your ceramides, all of those ingredients, what they're really doing is working on the hydration, and that nourishment in the skin. And they're all naturally found in the skin. As we get older, those start to sort of deplete and our skin becomes drier and more dehydrated. And those ingredients, Andrea, are brilliant at moisture barrier. So if you imagine like your moisture barrier sits on the surface of your skin, imagine a little umbrella over your head, but with all of these environmental aggressions, whether it be pollution, whether it be blue light, whether it be dirt, whatever it may be, forming little holes in the umbrella, and gradually water is starting to escape through that umbrella, and that's what causes that dehydration. So whenever you see lipids, ceramides, hyaluronic acid, that's what those are doing, really helping to nourish, to moisturize, and to retain that water. So real giving that that suppleness and bounce to your skin, and that radiance as well, which is what we all want. And then I think antioxidants. This is another word we hear. Thinking about just like a vitamin supplement, all of those ingredients help to almost, I imagine them like little shields on the surface of your skin go, no, you can't enter. So they really help to sort of, keep out all the bad things that are in the environment. So they're really, really powerful. We know vitamin C is great at, restoring that radiance. But another thing, as we get older, we know that our cell renewal slows down. So our skin can maybe start to look a little bit more dull or a little bit more flat. We're losing that radiance and that glow. What you're looking at there is things like your retinoids. So that's a derivative of your vitamin A. And what that does is help to sort of stimulate your cell renewal to keep your skin looking really radiant. So lipids, ceramide, peptides, nourish. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin C, like keep out, protect our skin, and anything with a retinoid is going to keep like your skin resurfaced and retexturized. And so if I was almost to put it in 3 buckets: nourishment, protection, and resurfacing, and SPF
as well. So
Yeah.
obviously, you know, you mentioned the fact that so often we can end up with a drawer full or a shelf full of products, and
Yes.
we get a bit panicky thinking,
Mm.
I don't know which one to use. Am I okay to layer, or
Mhm.
do I have to stick to one? If is
Yeah.
there for you, because obviously you see women's skin on a daily basis. This is your
Yeah.
industry. This is what you work in. That you would recommend to someone over and over again and go, do you know what? This is just brilliant. It's either a great starter or it's a great all-rounder.
Yes, I think that, and again, you know, you don't have to have a long and complicated skincare regime to get results. You know, for Clinique, we were built on the 3-step, you know, cleanse, exfoliate, and moisturize. And if you
Mm,
have got those 3 key steps in your routine, you are going to help to maintain a healthy looking skin and a healthy functioning skin. So if I was to narrow it down into a capsule, you know, regime, that is what I would advise anybody to do. And also, you know, so to have a really good moisturizer, you know, you might want to have a moisturizer with an SPF in. So in the daytime, you're getting that protection, but you're also getting that nourishment, that hydration, you know, and keeping that moisture barrier, you know, really healthy, keeping it intact, which also keeps your skin really strong and actually
mm,
resilient. But yes, cleanse, you know, a liquid exfoliator, one that you can just use in the same way as you would use a toner. That is really important. And also, Andrea, exfoliation, daily exfoliation is really important in terms of making sure that you get the best out of all of your products.
mm.
Because if you imagine, it's almost like when you go on holiday, you know, if you haven't done a really good body scrub before you go, and maybe halfway between your holiday, you find that your skin, your tan ends up peeling off. You
Mm.
know, it's almost, if you were to paint the skirting boards, and I just want to do the painting. I never want to do the sanding bit. I can't bear that. But if you don't do the sanding bit, 2 weeks later, that paint's just peeling off. So if you want to make sure that your skincare is really working for you, that is also really important
That's
step.
such a good analogy. I love the skirting board analogy,
Oh, yeah.
because right away I know exactly what you mean, because I'm exactly the same. I can't be
Oh,
bothered with the sanding down beforehand, but we all
absolutely.
know we need to do a sanding down and we need to put a primer, because
Yeah,
otherwise you're just putting it straight back on again. Can I ask you
exactly.
something? Because
Yes.
I'm of a generation where we grew up where it was cleanse, tone, moisturize. They were the
Mm,
sort of the 3 key things that we were told to do.
mm,
I have genuinely always looked after my skin because I did have acne when I was younger. So
yeah.
to me, it was a no-brainer that I don't like having spots. Therefore, what can I do to make sure that I
Yes.
can look after it? So
Mm,
it was interesting what you said there, was that liquid exfoliant has now, I suppose, replaced this idea of a toner in terms of our regime. So what would you say women should head towards when it comes to an exfoliant? Because again, when I was a teenager growing up, it was this grit. It was literally grit
yes.
that you were rubbing
Yes.
into your face.
Yeah.
Is that not what we should be doing now? Should we be using a liquid exfoliant?
I think, see, for me, the liquid exfoliator, you know, and we have the iconic clarifying lotion at Clinique, which, you know, it's a hero product. And it's actually, it is one thing I will always ask every client I see: are they using it in their regime? Because I truly, truly believe in it. And it's very quick. You pop it onto your cotton pad and you sweep it over day and night. In terms of your granular exfoliator, you can absolutely still incorporate that into your routine. You can use it once, you know, or twice a week, if you really feel that you need that. So you can
Mm.
absolutely still incorporate that. I know for me, when I have to find 10 minutes to put an exfoliator on, oh, it's Tuesday, I must do my exfoliation, I'll often won't do it. Or people might use it quite aggressively on the skin, which is what we don't want to do. Anybody with a more sensitized, sensitive, reactive skin may find that, the granules are a little bit, it's just that they're touch sensitive, so it's not
Sure.
ideal for them. And also equally, anyone that does have acne or pustules that, maybe are weeping and things like that, maybe a granular one may not be the most suitable exfoliator. So I think definitely for me, I know if I'm just using it just after I've cleansed, I'm more likely to stick to it and then get the results that I want to see. But you can absolutely incorporate that into a granular one, maybe once a week if you wanted to do that as well.
That's led me as well with my train of thought, which is why I love doing these things, because I'm literally listening to you like a lady who's walked up to you in a department store. What do I do? When you're talking there about different skin types and reacting, whether it's to a granular exfoliator versus a sweeping on with a cotton pad, so often. You touched earlier on, we want an instant result, but then really what we need to do is to form some kind of regime that will slowly take effect. Now, being brutally honest, this is us across every part of our life. This is us in exercise. This is us in how we think about nutrition. This is us with sleep, all of it. But we're human and we want a mixture of quick results. And we want a mixture of, the longevity. So often, and I'm guilty of this, we can get so carried away with, right, I'm going to put this whether it is retinol or something like that you hear the word bandied about. I've had it before that my skin ends up, it's raw, it's red, it's peeling, and I'm thinking, this can't be good. And it's that, have I overdone it? Or is this part of the process? Is this like a journey that I need to go through with it? What would you advise to women who have maybe done this, or they're put off by the idea of trying something that's a little bit stronger because they're going to get quite an extreme result, but actually it's worth it?
Yeah, and I think that that is something common that I will hear and that clients will share with me. So I think if you're going to be using a liquid exfoliator, and there are different strengths that you can use as well. I think that you could sort of just introduce it slowly into your routine. So you may want to start to use it twice a week, and then you can gradually build up to it as well. So you may just find that if it's, if your skin is a little bit more sensitive and it's more likely to react, then just maybe reduce the the amount of times that you're using it a week, and then your skin will gradually get used to it and start to build back up. And I do think, say for example, last 2 weeks, and I've had this cold and my skin was just crazy. I had like a big dry patch here, and I knew what I was starting to do. Despite knowing everything about skin, I'm like, oh no, I'm going into panic mode. So I'm going to use this really intensive exfoliator, and now I'm going to put this on. And I thought, Anna-Marie, you're going into this panic mode of trying to get everything on. And actually, let's just take a moment. Let's just strip back. And that's when I'll often go back just to my 3, my cleanse, my daily liquid exfoliator, and then my moisturizer. And I will sort of take out the extras that I'm doing. But one thing I will always do, actually, whenever my skin is like that, Andrea, and that's putting a really beautiful creamy overnight mask on. Something that actually, whilst I'm sleeping, it's just going to help with that repairing action. So I do think when our skin is having a bit of a wobble, I think many of us act out of panic mode. And I think whenever you're doing that and suddenly you're starting, I'm going to bring in my more intensive exfoliator now, I'm really going to get to grips with this dry patch. Actually, no, nurture. And what's really important to remember is that what we're always aiming to do is to maintain healthy skin that's in a calm state. Because when your skin is in a healthy, calm state, it will respond to your products much better. So it's just strip it back, cleanse, exfoliate, and moisturize, and just be more calm. And you know, again, if it is, you know, getting drier, like we said, then maybe you want to dip into something a little bit more richer to bring that comfort. You might want to look for ingredients like Cica, for example, you know, those ingredients that are very calming for a more sensitized skin. So that would be my advice. And I'll tell you, and I'll go in and do the same myself. So honestly, no matter whether we work in skincare, we still have to be like, no, stop doing that. I think it goes back to when I was young.
We're all just human at the end of the day, and we might know all the things, but we all still react by running around waving our arms in the air and getting it wrong in every part of our life. And I love the idea that we forget that you're totally right. Our skin is our skin is our largest organ in our body.
Yes.
And that we need to remember that actually when things are flaring up on our skin, so often it's because other things are sort of out of balance. And if we can stop and think, I'm going to calm other parts of me down and look at other things that I can do, and I'm going to treat my skin in the same way. Don't just throw more at it, which is you're so right. It's what we do. Anna-Marie, you've been amazing today. You've been so full of insights. Is there anything that you think I haven't touched on that you think women need to know this in terms of their skincare?
Do you know what I would say? What is really important for me as I'm getting older, and I think that as we get older, you know, women, our confidence takes a knock, and I think sometimes, especially women, can feel invisible, you know. And what I want to say is that a perfect looking skin does not mean a wrinkle-free skin. Like, you know, it's actually a healthy looking skin is a skin that looks well cared for. You know, it's got that a glow where you're just moisturizing it, you're hydrating it, and you are looking after it. You're just, you know, you're keeping it in its best possible state. And I think, you know, age is a privilege. Not everybody gets to have that. So it's actually pulling out those features that you love. I mean, you may love your eye shape or your eye colour. You've got great eyebrows, you've got great cheekbones, or a jaw, or a beauty spot, whatever it may be. But I think it's really drawing on those features that you love and embracing it. And with a few lines, you know, that's beauty in itself as well. So that's something to remember. I think we often look in the mirror and pull out all those features that, you know, we're not happy with. But I think every skin at any age can look amazing.
I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel so you never miss a single one. And if you want to join in the conversation, head over to Facebook to Andrea McLean, This Girl is on Fire private Facebook group, and I'll see you there.